Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are going to dive right in. I'm actually incredibly excited about even 3 pages that I read this morning because it's exactly what I needed. I'm not going to lie. I really needed this today, and it's so powerful. It is so powerful. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? And we're going to dive right into the book. I'm going to give you the topic. We are in chapter, if you're following along in the book and reading along with me, we are still in chapter 4. Are we in chapter 4? I feel like that's wrong. I think we're in chapter 5, aren't we? We're in chapter 5. Halfway through, and I read a couple pages today, and I was like, this is so good. It is so good for anybody. It doesn't matter if you've been working on your mindset for years, or a month, or you've set goals for this year. It is an incredible question and some questions to ask yourself. So as you're tuning in, good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is that you are watching. And we're going to dive right in because there's actually a lot more I'm going to read than normal. My hope is this. If you're brand new, we do a mindset. I do a mindset morning, go through a book live every morning. Not always on the weekends, but for the weekdays, that's what we do. We go through it together. My hope is that you take a phrase or a sentence or a thought with you throughout the day. And if you need to make a change, my hope is that you take the action to make the change to be a better you. That is the point, right? So I know. If you're watching live, it's Thursday today. I have 4 daughters. We homeschool. We work from home. So sometimes my days all seem the same. Hence why I actually needed this today. But I would love for you to share what you're thankful for today. It's Thankful Thursday. What is one thing you're thankful for? I 100% I'm thankful for books. I am thankful for a quiet morning. And I honestly am thankful for you because it allows me to share what I love to share. But I love it when you reciprocate and you share with me how you're feeling and how you're doing. And I love to read through the comments. And so thank you. I really do love it. All right. Are you ready? I hope this speaks to you like it spoke to me. Maybe it's just for me, but I hope it's for you too. It is for you. I believe it is. The question today is this. So chapter 5 basically just says the law of consistency. So we already talked about the how of why to improve yourself. We talked about the what to do. Today is really powerful. And it starts with this question. Do you know why you want to keep improving? And I was like, oh, my why. We talk about our why. Why are you here? Why do you want to get healthy? But I loved how he talked about it in these next few pages. It's really incredible, and probably because I actually needed it, because I really am an optimistic person. I really am. I get up. I am excited for the day. I don't ever have to do anything. I get to. And my mind's, and if I find myself saying I have to, I immediately go, no, I get to. I'm in charge of my day. I choose and make choices. I get to do the things I choose to do. I spend my time how I choose to spend my time. My mindset is always a moving forward, a thankful and grateful. And there are times where I'm like, not bored, but also questioning if I'm making a difference. So I would say in the last couple of days, my mindset has been, I catch myself, but also I have to catch myself out of, am I doing something that I'm supposed to do? Am I not bored, but am I making a difference? Is it really adding value? So we all have mindset that we've got to work through, but you've got to catch it and change it, right? So this spoke to me today. He says, knowing what to improve and how to improve it are critical to consistency in your personal growth, right? I need to improve my mind. How am I going to do it? I'm going to read books and listen to podcasts and learn from other people. But so is knowing why. The how and the what will only take you so far. I know how to do it. I know what to do. Why am I doing it? The why is what keeps you motivated long enough after the first rush of energy and enthusiasm wears off. It can carry you through when willpower isn't enough. Think of it as your why power. And a lot of you might need that even right now. We're almost midway through January. If you're like, all right, I have not seen the pounds come off. It has been a week, right? Maybe that's not you quite yet. But what about at the end of the month? Are you going to February? What if you get to March and it's not exactly, you're not where you want to be, but you know your why needs to be strong enough and you need the consistent action even when you don't feel like it to keep going for the entire year. So good. All right, I love the story that he shares. I'm actually going to read this story to you. It's not long, okay? I love the story of a salesman who looked out the window as he was sitting at a hotel restaurant during a blinding snowstorm. The salesman asked the waiter, "Do you think that the roads will be clear enough in the morning for me to travel on?" And the waiter replied, "It depends on if you are salary or commission." Depends on where your mindset is and how hard you're willing to work and your why. I loved it. He says, having a strong why will help you keep going when discipline of learning becomes difficult, discouraging, or tedious. If your growth is connected to your values, your dreams, and your purpose, you will know why you're doing it, and you will be more likely to follow through. So he had a mentor, and his mentor said this, I'm going to put you through the why test. So as I'm reading these questions to you, I want you to say yes or no in your mind, okay? He says one of the key ways to judge whether you have tapped into your why is to take a why test. Your answers to these following 7 questions will let you know if your why is solid enough to motivate you and consistently help you grow, or you need to find a bigger why. Are you ready? Just ask yourself these as I'm just say yes or no. Number 1, do you constantly procrastinate on important tasks? Yes or no? Do you require coaxing to do small chores? Yes or no? Do you perform duties just to get by? Yes or no? Do you constantly talk negatively about your work? Yes or no? Do efforts of friends to encourage you, irritate you instead of help you? If your friends are like, hey, you can do this. 2 more. Do you start small projects and then abandon them? Yes or no? You don't have to tell me. This is just like a thought, okay? Do you avoid self-improvement opportunities? Yes or no? He says, if you answered yes to many of these questions, you haven't tapped into strong enough or a big enough why to keep you growing as a person. Those are just like for mindset, right? But if you constantly are in a negative state or you don't want to do things or you feel like you always have to, part of it is you need to grow, right? They talked about the how and the what, reading, learning, how to do it, set some time in the morning. But is your why big enough to get you through your everyday and to push you to your goals even when you don't feel like it? If you think about it, you can see that discipline and motivation are 2 sides of the same coin. If you have the motivation that you need, discipline is no problem. If you lack motivation, if you are not inspired, if you are not reading, if you're not learning from others, discipline is always a problem. That is why, listen, I will coach on here all day long about what to eat and how to do it and how to start keto. And if you don't have the right mindset, the discipline will always be a problem. If you're not motivated and inspired, and if you can't do it for yourself as well, the discipline will lack. It is so true. You have to give yourself more and bigger why so that you can keep wanting to put in the effort to grow. The greatest number, he said, the greater number of reasons you give yourself to grow, the more whys, the more likely you are to follow through with what you want to go after in your goals. Of course, in certain circumstances, one really compelling why can be enough, but oftentimes it's more than one. Not just, I'm doing it for my kids, but like, are you doing it for you? And why do you want to do it? Why do you want to be healthy? What do you want to accomplish? Why do you want a different job? Why do you want to go to school? Why do you want your relationships better? Why do you want to be financially free? Why? There needs to be a power. He said it. What did he say? The power why. You need to have a why power to get you through those Monday times. All right, we're not done. There's so many good little things to read to you. I'll go through them as fast as I can. A couple more minutes. Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. So there was a story he shared about him. It was a legendary NFL coach, and he said this: as soon as somebody quits something an easy goal, right? You stopped working out this week, or maybe next week you just don't feel motivated, so you quit. You quit the gym, you quit eating healthy, whatever the case may be. He says, once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. The only way you fail, I'm saying this, the only way you fail is if you quit, right? If you fall and you get back up, it's not a fail, it's a learning lesson. If you fall and you get back up, it's a learning lesson. You consistently get back up until you create a new habit. Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. If giving up has become a habit for you, then I suggest you take the advice, he said, from one of my friends, Darren Hardy, who wrote a book called The Compound Effect. I think I have that book. I think I went through it a long time ago, and that might be our next book. I don't know yet, but he says this: the compound effect is a principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. What's most interesting about the process to me is this: even though the results are massive, the steps in everyday moments and everyday goals do not feel significant, right? Your everyday habits don't feel significant in a short period of time. But over time, you will reap the harvest, and it might be a year. Your health is worth it, but are you willing? Do you have a strong enough why, and are you willing to put in the work, small steps every day for an entire year? It says, most people get tripped up by the simplicity of the compound effect. For instance, they quit after 8 days of running because they're still overweight. Or they stop practicing the piano after 6 months because all they can play is the chopstick so far. Or they stop making contributions to their IRA after a few years because they could use some cash. And it doesn't seem to be adding up much anyways. When they didn't realize that these small, seemingly insignificant steps completely, consistently over time will create radical difference. With your health, with your relationships, with your finances, the small steps every single day matter. If you're going in the right direction, you might not see it or feel it, but you should have a big enough why that you keep going no matter what. If you don't have a big enough why, if you don't have multiple whys to keep you going in the days that you are struggling or you don't feel like it, then you've got to find another why. So that is your thought for today. That is your thing you should take with you in today. Why am I doing what I'm doing? What are my whys? What will hold me here, keep me going, even when I don't feel like it? And then he basically says this. He says, okay, there's the why. And then he says, do you know when you're supposed to improve? And I'm just going to read a couple more things, then we're done. When do you need to improve? When? He says, first, the obvious answer is right now. A life lived for tomorrow will always be just a day away from being realized. So you need to get up and start it today. Most importantly, you need to start today, and your today needs to be every day. Don't wait for tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to start. No, it is morning. It is morning in America. If you're on the other side of the world, then whatever time it is for you, you still have choices to make, and they can be choices to go after your better. You will never change your life until you change something that you do daily. This is really great. Okay? That means developing great habits. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. And that bridge must be crossed every single day. I have goals. I need discipline. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the habits every single day, no matter what. People do not decide their future. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. Oh, this is so good. I read this morning, and I'm like, oh, this is so good. If people could just understand their habits decide their day, and their habits decide their future, then you would look at your habits and you would get a big enough why, and you would do it no matter what. Even when it's hard, even when it's stinky. Like I could tell you right now, I'm working on getting stronger. I committed to going to CrossFit with my daughter. I am sorer than sorer can be. I am so sore. Only after 2 days of going back to the gym. I've worked out in my home, but I didn't push myself hard enough to feel how I feel today. And it would be super easy to go, you know what, I'm going to skip today and we'll go back next week. I'm not going to skip today because my daughter has goals. I'm committed to her goals and my goals. Part of my why is to see her succeed. She wants it. I want it. And it would be easy for me to go, I'm not going to do it. Nope. I'm fine for the next couple of days. I did really good for 2 days, so I'll just wait. Or I could just push through. My why is my daughter. And my why is my own health, right? It's a mindset. It's going to be hard. I know it, and I can do it. From the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed and sleep at night, your habits largely control the words you say, the things you do, and the ways you react and respond. From the time you get up, from the time you go to bed, your habits are controlling your whole life. Your habits are your choices. Your choices are your habits. And so that's a part of taking 5 seconds before you make a choice to go, do I want to switch this or am I going to fall into the same habit? What we are doing daily, what are we doing daily that needs to be changed? So here's the thought for you, right? What is your why and what are we doing daily that needs to change? What needs doing? Maybe more importantly, what needs undoing? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to say no to? Where do you need to make a pivot? A bad habit never goes away by itself. It always needs to be undone. Undo it yourself. You might need to have an undo it yourself project. What do I need to undo? What are you willing to change doing today in order to change what you will be doing tomorrow? And lastly, in the end, hard work is really the accumulation of easy things that you didn't do when you should have. Hard work is really the accumulation of easy things you didn't do when you should have. He says it's like diet and exercise. Everyone wants to be thin, but no one wants to make the right choices to get there. It's hard work. It's hard work when you've neither eaten right nor exercised daily, nor exercise day after day. However, if you make small right choices every day, day after day, you will see results. I'm going to stop there. We're not even done with the chapter, but I felt like that was a lot. I loved it. It spoke to me. I needed it. I did need it. It's great. So I hope you got a nugget, and it could be, what do I need to undo? Just having a realization of my habits are really who I become. What are some things you might need to change? Or maybe you're like celebrating because you're like, I'm on the right track. I'm working on my mindset. I'm doing the things no matter what every single day. I feel great. I have a why. I have multiple whys. I don't need to tune in here. I read to myself. Like, a lot of you can celebrate and go, yeah, I'm on the right path. Good job. You might just need to make one little pivot. Oh, this is where my biggest challenge is. I'm going to shift it. It's so good. So here's the book. If you just need it to have a visual to walk yourself through your days, grab the book. Otherwise, continue to tune in here every single day. I will come on later this afternoon and do another live, a keto tip. I always talk about ketones and why to drink them and why I love them. And so thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. I hope you found some little value today, and figure out your why, your whys. I should not be your only inspiration. One book should not be your only inspiration. You need to know that you can do this. Tap into your why, even when you get up and you might be super sore and you might just want to have a break, but you're not going to because you've got a bigger why to push you through. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.